Hey guys, this is Odd1 Gaming. This is going to be another King Arthur Legends Rise video. In today's video, we're going to talk about a couple of stages that might be proving difficult for you guys. And those are going to be from Season 2, because apparently seasons change, we have different stages. But there's a couple of stages that are difficult that I said, you know what, let me do some recordings. First one I'm going to show you is going to be the B30. I already pre-recorded that run because if you beat a stage for the first time, you cannot go back and do it again, so you just auto clear it, right? I cannot just go back and like fight it again to show you. But that was the first one, and then the second one, which is kind of like the one that I am at currently, which some other people might be stuck, is gonna be B35. Now, before we jump into the video, I just want to quickly mention, you know, if you do enjoy my content and if you want to support me in a way that's really free, there's a link in the description, right, or in the pinned comment of this video. That's pretty much, you know, supporting me as a content creator. If you click that one and support me, it's gonna help me a ton. Normally, the way that one works is like, you know, if you spend, I get a small percentage of that, but even if you don't, it does help me out, right? My goal is to get to, hopefully, 200 supporters, so you know, the more the merrier, and thank you for doing that. Now let's look at the first stage, right? So pretty much this stage with Fingal on B30, the issue with it, the first thing that you gotta look at is the fact that this one, the boss himself, Fingal, just keeps healing himself, right? He keeps recovering HP based on the damage that he does, which means the number one priority in order to deal with this one, with him at least, is going to be to try and bring somebody that brings healing disruption. Now we have several options. We have Morgan, that's a free one, however she's wrong affinity against Fingal. We have a Colon that can do that single target and so on. And then the second issue is actually the necklaces, right? They have a really weird kit, and you're gonna see the way the fight goes. But pretty much the main, like I said, the main thing, you gotta bring healing disruption so you can stop him. And you're gonna see the way that I do it is I just try to focus, so I take down Fingal first. Two reasons. One, like I said, he keeps healing, but then second reason, he does a ton of damage, right? He does a ton of damage, and because of that fact, you 100% want to just, you know, kill him fast so then you can deal with everybody else. So from that point of view, you pretty much, I guess you can bring maybe just two people to deal with him that are what's it called, that are storms. And for example, for me, I use Tristan, which everybody gets. Then the second one I use a Colon, which is the one that brings me the healing disruption alongside Morgan. But you're gonna see he's almost dead. However, he did his job, right? He did his job for me, what I needed, just to keep that first batch of him not healing. And then from this point on, I'm gonna deal with it with Tristan and with Morgan. Now, the second thing that's really tricky about this stage is the fact that you see those stealth that the necklaces do, right? That's extremely annoying and extremely hard to deal with, because what it means when they are under that stealth is you cannot target them with single target hits, right? So for example, they're under stealth. If their basic attack, so for example, if Tristan has basic attack and he's taunted as well, he's just gonna skip a turn because they're hidden, right? It's so bad, it's so hard to deal with. So as an example, maybe if your Morgan is enough for the healing prohibition to land on the first, you know, the boss, I guess, of the stage, Fingal, then do not bring in the team a Colon, just bring K or anybody else that does AoE damage, you know, preferably if you have somebody that's fire, so it's better against this one. Because you can see I just keep losing turns, However, the one that makes it go for me, the one that makes it work for me is actually Morgan, right? When you do her A2, you're gonna see all of them will lose the stealth, right? If you do damage to them, they lose that stealth, and that's where Morgan obviously comes in really clutch. Again, she's a free legendary, so everybody gets her. I don't have her any chivalry, so it's pretty basic. Now, I'm not gonna keep you to the rest of the fight. I survive it. I pretty much heal. It's just slow going because, again, they keep putting stealth, then I need to get Morgan again to do the second skill and so on, so that's you know, that becomes a little bit problematic. But in the end, I did manage to beat it, you know, just the main goal is, again, take on the first one. Take Fingal out, and then you're gonna be good to go. Now, if we look at the battle stats, you're gonna see that most of my damage was spread between Tristan and Morgan. And trust me, they're not perfectly built. Now, the second stage that we have to deal with, and I guess let me try and do this now, is gonna be this one, like I said, B35. And the way you need to deal with this one is by bringing somebody that deals with abnormal status, right? And then obviously try to get somebody that's, you know, fire as DPS. So for example, you see there's 3 of them. He is fire, so this is the team that I'm going to be using. It might be a bit tricky because of, you know, the randomness of his hits, but pretty much the main goal or the main person for this team is going to be Bodwin, because Bodwin has a passive that says that every time there's a normal status, right, has a 3-turn cooldown, but every time a normal status lands, he has a 50% chance to just remove it, right? And if that happens, you're obviously not gonna have a problem dealing with it. And the reason why I really need that is because when he lands that brainwash, it's for the whole fight. You're gonna see, boom, brainwash. And now if I don't cleanse it, you see I didn't cleanse it, that means my Tristan's just going to keep attacking my team up until he gets back to it, and hopefully he's going to get the chance to cleanse it, right? So he didn't proc the 50-50 first time around, which means I have to wait for the second time around to be able to do that. And it might be a little bit tricky, but you 100% want to have something like this. Obviously, there's another option. You see, we cleansed it, right? If I'm not mistaken, yep, we cleansed it because another abnormal status landed. So he cleansed it. Now we can start attacking again, and we're good to go. But if you don't have Bodwin, which honestly, I 100% everybody should build Bodwin. If you don't have somebody like a Guinevere, which is the best, right, at dealing with abnormal statuses, or even if you don't have somebody like a what's her name, like Gillian, right? Gillian has again the same passive, but Gillian is I'm not sure if Gillian's like better than him or pretty much the same when it comes to removing it, because her cooldown is on a 6-turn unless you skill it up, and then goes on a 4 turns, while Bodwin's on a 3-turn if you skill it up, but his is 50-50, and then Gillian's is guaranteed. So those are a few things that you definitely want to keep in mind when you build them. But honestly, again, if you don't have all the good legendaries, I 100% would advise everybody to build Bodwin, because you're going to need that abnormal status removal in several areas of the game, not just Forbidden Dungeon. You're going to need it again, Forbidden Dungeon, then in Chrome Kruak, then you're going to need it in Master of Death, Apolea, which one? Arcelus. You know, there's a lot of areas in the game when you're going to have to deal with abnormal statuses, and you're 100% going to need somebody to help you cleanse that one, right? And Bodwin's one of the best ones, especially because he also brings that sheer damage on the 3rd skill. He also brings the, what's it called, attack penalty on the 2nd skill, right, in the frost form. So from my point of view, if you don't have the legendary versions, Bodwin's going to be the best one, and he's going to be a must build. Now, this one, I guess, is going to be pretty easy from now on, so I can put on full auto and maybe just start targeting these one at a time. And then I guess I'm going to come back after this. I'm going to show you the builds for all the people that I used for these 2 fights. So, see you in a bit. Okay, so just to show you like the way that the damage was after this fight, 61% Tristan, 31% Morgan, obviously a little bit from everybody else. But yeah, this was this stage done. Now let's quickly go through the builds. I'm gonna try and, you know, not spend too much time on it, because you know, I usually try to keep my videos short to the point, you know, just pretty straightforward. So let's start, I guess, with the first one. So, oh yeah, one thing I want to mention, I do have Bedivere, but I wanted not to bring Bedivere on purpose because I want to make it more relatable. I wanted to show, I guess, a more free-to-play version in the sense of like the more easier to obtain heroes. Even though, you know what, if you've been playing for a while, you might be getting Bedivere 1 copy, which is going to be amazing. However, if you're somebody that just started, right, I've been playing since the early access, so I have like 1 month extra. If you're somebody just started, maybe you don't have him, but all of us should have, you know, stuff like Tristan, Morgan, all that. Now, let's look at the builds quickly, like I said. So Tristan, first of all, level 60, 6-star, 4-star awakened, nothing in the skill ups. Equipment, he's running a speed set, right, plus a critical set. These are his total stats, good attack speed. I guess I'm not going to emphasize unless I need to, so a little bit of effect accuracy is helpful for him because he does land that attack speed down. When it comes to the relic, I did use his fire relic, which everybody can buy from the clan shop, and this one's 6-star, but no level ups in this one. And then when it comes to chivalry, I do have 1 chivalry on him. Second one that I used was Morgan. Again, everybody gets her. No chivalries for her. When we look at her relic, I used her in the fire relic. still, you know, I could level up a bit more. It's 4-star level 30 only, no skill ups in this one. Then her level is 60, 3-star awakened, equipment. She's running a vigor plus a critical. I tried to give her vigor because all of her skills are good and want her to use them as often as possible. You can see her total stats and obviously emphasis for her on the effect accuracy because you want her to land those debuffs that she has on the second skill and on the third skill and on the passive, right? So that's Morgan. Then the next one that I use is Sarah, which is arguably the best rare healer in the game, which maybe she's on par with Clementine, but Clementine brings some different stuff. She's running a Vigor plus life set, right? You can see her total stats here. I'm mostly focused on the HP and some attack speed because the more HP she has, the more she heals. She is a 4-star awakened level 60. She does have some skill ups in the passives. They are amazing, right? She's amazing with these ones for certain fights. This is the one that's like ideal. So normally you would want to skill up this to max if you can, because this is gonna give her more debuffs to be dispelled. She's Chivalry 1, which I would suggest everybody to do that, even if you have to use some of the rare memory stones. 100% Chivalry 1 at least is awesome because she's gonna lower the cooldown. She's gonna lower the cooldown of her debuff remover. And then when it comes to Relic, I used her Storm 1, level 50, 5-star, no skill ups into it, and that's about it. Then the next one that I used in the team was Bodwin. Like I mentioned, he's the ideal candidate for dealing with abnormal status. I did get to skill this up. However, I do have him, as an example, I do have him Chivalry 3, which pretty much when he does this passive on 2 people, he puts abnormal status immunity. However, you saw that in that fight, he didn't land it on Tristan, so it pretty much still, the boss still put that brainwash, which means you don't really need it, right? I showed it that you don't necessarily need to be Chivalry 3. It's just gonna be the RNG if you cleanse it or not, and this is the one that you care about. Obviously, if I can get another skill up over here to be on a 2 turns cooldown, to have that 50-50 to remove it would be better. Now, Relic, I used his Frost one, just 4-star, level 30, 2-star awaken, no skill ups over here. His equipment is going to be Vigor plus life. Again, you want to produce as much Vigor as possible. Then you want him to be tanky, and that's all you care about. Maybe a little bit more effect accuracy if you care about his attack decrease on his second skill. If not, just get him some speed and then give him HP and defense to be tanky, and that's all that you care about on Bodwin. And then the last one that I used, again, in that first fight was a Colon. He's running Vigor plus accuracy set. He's the one that was just in the fight for that healing prohibition in case Morgan doesn't land it. But you can see some speed, effect accuracy, and then survivable, a little bit of damage, pretty much a combination of everything, right? He's the same one that I'm using in Aldry as well. Then he's level 60, 3-star awakened. He does have a couple of skill ups in the passives, but the thing that you care about mostly is this one over here, right? This A2, that's all I had him do in that fight. A2 attacks one enemy 2 times, 60% chance to inflict recover disruption. This is what you care about. You want that boss not to heal, and then after that you're good to go. You don't care about anything else. After you kill him, happy days. But anyway, we're gonna leave it at this for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you, and if it was, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel to see when I upload next. Also, don't forget about the support link in the description and pin comment if you feel like you want to support me. But yeah, thank you all for watching. See you in the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.
Fight with honor. Vanquish the wicked, and you may prove worthy of your legacy.